Theme music fades out. Hey there, tech enthusiasts. Welcome to Bite-Sized Breakthroughs, and I'm your host, Dia. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of cybersecurity, and I'm super excited to share with you why one unsung hero deserves our appreciation: HTTPS. Joining me on this journey is Maidash, a renowned expert in web security. Maidash, welcome to the show. Maidash, let's get straight into it. What sparked your interest in highlighting the importance of HTTPS?
Well, Dia, hello there. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and chat about something that's so crucial, yet often overlooked. You know, I've been working in web security for quite some time now, and one thing that always struck me was how many people still don't understand the significance of those little letters at the beginning of a URL: HTTPS. It all started when I realized that even among tech-savvy folks, there wasn't enough awareness about what HTTPS actually does and why it matters so much. And as someone who's seen firsthand the chaos caused by security breaches, I felt compelled to shed some light on this unsung hero of the internet.
Intrigued. Wow, Maidash, that's a fantastic insight. Shedding light on HTTPS is exactly what we need. It's amazing how something so essential can be overlooked. Let's dive deeper into this. How would you explain to someone who's new to the world of web security, what exactly does HTTPS do to protect users and their data online?
Great question, Dia. All right, imagine you're having a conversation with someone. Let's say you're discussing your credit card details over the phone. You wouldn't want anyone else listening in, right? That's essentially what happens when you use HTTP instead of HTTPS. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, and those extra S letters make all the difference. Here's why. 1. Encryption. When a website uses HTTPS, it encrypts the information being sent between your browser and its server. So even if someone intercepts that conversation or data, they won't be able to understand what's being said because it's all scrambled up. 2. Authentication. HTTPS also makes sure you're talking to the right person, or in this case, connecting to the correct website. It ensures that no imposter can trick your browser into communicating with a fake site designed to steal your data. So basically, Dia, HTTPS is like having a secret code language and a double-check system for verifying who we're talking to online. Without it, well, let's just say there'd be a whole lot more eavesdropping and identity theft going on. Now I'm sure you're wondering, why isn't everyone using HTTPS then? What's stopping them?
Excited. Maidash, that's an incredible analogy. The secret code language and double-check system are perfect ways to explain the importance of HTTPS. I see what you mean about the potential consequences without it. That's a chilling thought. Let's talk about the practical side now. You mentioned earlier that not everyone is using HTTPS. What are some common challenges or excuses that website owners or developers give for not adopting HTTPS, and how do you respond to them?
MMHM. All right, Dia, let me tell you, there can be quite a few reasons why some folks haven't made the switch to HTTPS yet. First off, there's this myth that it's too expensive or complicated to implement. Now I gotta say, that just isn't true anymore. Thanks to initiatives like Let's Encrypt, website owners can get an SSL certificate, which is what makes HTTPS possible, for free. And as for complexity, with modern tools and platforms, getting started with HTTPS is about as difficult as setting up email these days. Then there are those who think they don't need it. Maybe their site isn't handling sensitive data like passwords or credit card info. But here's the thing. Even if you're just sharing cat videos or blog posts, your visitors still deserve privacy and security. Plus, you never know when someone might try to hijack your site for their own nefarious purposes. And let me tell you about but it's broken excuse. Some people will say they've tried HTTPS before, but had issues with redirects or mixed content errors, which can indeed happen if not set up properly. But honestly, those are just teething problems that can be easily fixed. There are plenty of resources out there to help website owners troubleshoot these issues and get back on track. You know what really gets me though? When I hear people say they're waiting for everyone else to do it first, like it's some kind of competitive sport. Newsflash: you don't need to wait for permission to secure your own website. In fact, using HTTPS can actually give you an edge over non-secure sites in search engine rankings. So yeah, Dia, those are some common excuses I hear. But none of them hold water when it comes down to it. At the end of the day, there's really no excuse not to be using HTTPS these days.
Impressed and nodding. Wow, Mightish, you've tackled every single one of those excuses like a pro. I love how you broke them down and showed that they just don't hold up. You're absolutely right. There's no excuse for not having HTTPS anymore, especially with free SSL certificates available. And your point about security being an ongoing process even if it seems broken at first. That's so important to get across. Let's talk about the benefits of using HTTPS now. You mentioned search engine rankings earlier. What are some other advantages that website owners and developers should know about?
Well, Dia, I'm glad you found those points helpful. You see, once you start using HTTPS, there are actually quite a few perks that go beyond just security, though that's the big one, of course. First off, let me mention again how Google loves HTTPS. Back in 2014, they started giving websites with HTTPS a tiny ranking boost. It might not seem like much on its own, but hey, every little bit helps when it comes to SEO, right? And since then, other search engines have followed suit. Now here's something that often gets overlooked. Using HTTPS can significantly improve your website's performance. You might think encryption would slow things down, but actually, modern browsers and servers have gotten really good at handling SSL TLS connections. Plus, with HTTP2, which you need HTTPS for, data transfer becomes more efficient, leading to faster load times. And then there are the trust signals. When your site has that little green lock icon in the address bar, visitors know they're on a secure connection. That can do wonders for building trust and reducing bounce rates, especially if you've got an e-commerce site or one where people might be sharing personal information. But wait, there's more. HTTPS also helps protect against ad fraud. Yes, you heard me right. By encrypting data between your site and users' browsers, you make it harder for scammers to spoof clicks or impressions. It's a win-win situation. Lastly, Dia, let me leave you with this thought. HTTPS is becoming the new norm. More and more websites are making the switch every day, and if you don't join them, you might get left behind. So why not hop on board and reap all these benefits for yourself?
Energized. Wow, Mightish, that's an incredible rundown of the advantages of using HTTPS. I'm loving all the ways it can improve performance, trust, and even security against ad fraud. And you're right, Google's preference for HTTPS is a huge deal. Any SEO expert will tell you that small ranking boosts can add up over time. I also appreciate how you highlighted the importance of building trust with visitors. That little green lock icon really does make a difference in people's perceptions of your site's credibility. Now, I want to leave our listeners with some actionable advice. For those who are still hesitant to switch to HTTPS, what would be one simple step they could take today to get started?
Well, Dia, I think the best way for anyone to dip their toes into HTTPS is by starting with a single page or subdomain. That way, you can see how it works without disrupting your entire site right off the bat. Here's what I mean. Let's say you've got an About page that doesn't handle sensitive data. You could begin by getting an SSL certificate just for that one page, maybe even using a free service like Let's Encrypt. This'll give you first-hand experience with HTTPS, and it won't require any major overhauls to your site. Once you've got that single page set up securely, you can gradually expand from there. Maybe next, you'll add SSL to your contact form or login page. Then maybe an entire section of your site. Before long, you'll be ready to make the full switch. And hey, if you run into any issues along the way, don't worry. There are tons of resources and communities out there to help you troubleshoot. Just remember, every step counts when it comes to making our online world a safer place.
Warm and inviting. Mightish, I love that practical tip. Starting small and gradually building up to HTTPS is a great way for website owners and developers to ease into the transition. And I completely agree with you. Every step counts when it comes to online security. By making that first small change, you're not only protecting your visitors' data, but also contributing to a safer internet as a whole. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Bite-Sized Breakthroughs. I want to thank our expert guest Mightish for sharing his insights on why HTTPS is the unsung hero of the internet. If you've learned something new or are inspired to take your first step towards HTTPS, please share it with us on social media using HTTPS for good. Theme music fades in. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Bite-Sized Breakthroughs.